Or not video. Got it. Yep, got it. And we're live. All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Virtual Velocity Racing Super Speedway Series. We're racing race number 5 of 5 races. This is the final race, and we are back again at Talladega Super Speedway, which is in Talladega, Alabama. This is a 2.66 mile track, and like I said, we are finishing where we started. Let's go over the running order here before we get going. We have in lane 1 on the inside the 21 of Robert Kahn, on the outside the 78 of Christopher Jordan. Lane number 2 on the inside we have the 76 of Mike Rideout, on the outside the 82 of Joshua Neal. Row number 3 on the inside 61 of Chris Schuessler. Row number 3 on the outside number 19 of Brian Boyd. Row number 4 on the inside, the 51 of Jeffrey Vickery, and the outside of number 90, Dennis Warrens. Row number 5 on the inside, the 88, Brandon Puffenbarger. And on the outside, we have the number 10 of Jason Henry. Row number 6 on the inside, the 20 of Corey Kroll. And on the outside, the number 98, Sean Long. And row number 7 on the inside, the number 5, Chantel Pottle. My name is Chris Schuessler, and we will see how this final race goes. Right now, I can tell you that we have Corey Kroll is ahead by 2 points going into this championship. And we will see if he gets some luck and will hold that title and finish the series in the lead. Corey Kroll, the number 20. We're about to go green here. Pace car is coming in. And it looks like we're going green. Doing 60 laps tonight here at Talladega. And they're off. Looks like Robert Kahn got a good start, holding that inside. Oh, moving to the outside. Mike Rideout moving in. Mike Rideout, number 76, carrying some momentum there on the inside. And there's a 61 of Chris Schuessler following Mike Rideout. Looks like at the moment that inside lane is a little quicker than the outside. That will probably change as the race progresses, but it looks like the inside there is the quicker lane. Mike Rideout doing a good job of holding that lead. It looks like Robert Kahn there got a little push from Christopher Jordan. And Christopher Jordan makes his way on the inside. Robert Kahn holding on to the outside. Going to see if he can work his way around. Everyone off to a clean start. Looks like we have the number 19 of Brian Boyd leading on the inside at the moment, followed by Christopher Jordan. Looks like they're going to try and get a little momentum. Mike Rideout slipping back just a little bit there. And And these trucks doing a good job of holding on, holding their lane, as you can see from that camera angle. That's a nice shot of Brian Boyd racing Robert Kahn there on the outside. All these drivers holding their own. This will be a race of patience. There's no need to charge too hard at this track. We've seen these drivers, as I've called before, where you can be in the lead and go towards the back, or you can be towards the back and make your way forward relatively quickly. So I think it's a race of survival at this point. There's no need to charge too hard, especially here in the opening laps. So these guys will probably just try and find a comfortable spot and try and find a driver that maybe matches their pace or their level of comfort and just probably stick with that driver. And we're going to go 3 wide. But all of these drivers looking comfortable, showing good pace and showing good respect, which is good to see. Chantel Pottle looks like she's going to try and get on the far side there, going 3 wide. To see if she can get around. Doesn't look like she has a lot of luck at the moment. She does have Jeffrey Vickery behind and maybe try and give a little push or a nudge or help her with some aero, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. And she might just have to fall back in line. Brian Boyd and Robert Kahn doing a good job of just holding their own there in the front. And that's the 98 of Sean Long behind Robert Kahn. Looked like they were working well together. And we have Chantel Pottle now. She made her way through. And now she is in front of Robert Kahn. And those two have a history of working well together, so that might be advantageous for them. The number 5 and the 21, usually when they get together, good things happen. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But at the moment, it looks like Brian Boyd is doing well, and he's working well with Christopher Jordan. Those two are in sync, just working themselves around the track. And they are pretty much locked on and just getting around. Mike Rideout holding steady, doing a great job. And Jeffrey Vickery still in the hunt there, still up front. Now, I mentioned Corey Kroll early in the broadcast, talking about how he's the points leader. And at the moment, he's in 13th position. He is in the back. And I would have to think that that's probably a strategy call on his end. He's probably just trying to, at this stage of the race, I would imagine, just trying to stay away. Doesn't want to get too involved or maybe too in the middle of this pack and deal with some of these cars shifting around. He'll have to finish strong to hold that lead and to win this championship. But that would be my guess at lap 9 going into 10 here, that he's probably just trying to ride it out a bit. Again, this is not a race where you have to be in the front early to hold that. So that would be my guess, is that he's just going to just ride it out for a bit and sort of see how things play out. These drivers do have. I know one fast repair for sure. I should have mentioned that. I should have looked at that. I don't know if they have two, but I know they for sure do have one fast repair. But yeah, getting back to Corey, I think that that would probably be his strategy. Looks like he is just kind of holding his own. He's a good driver. He's a smart driver. So that's what I could kind of conclude from where he's at right now at the track. We'll have to see how this comes together. We have Brian Boyd still in the lead, making his way around, and he has his partner, Christopher Jordan, just working well with him. Um, Brian Boyd is the number 19. Not to be confused, I know sometimes when we look at these camera shots, he has a 22 on the bed of his truck, and that is for a charity that he's running this evening, which is Mission 22. And I'll talk about that for just a minute here. I want to see if we can get a couple shots of his truck here. He's in the lead, and we're on lap 10. He's doing a good job. I want to see if we can get just a couple camera angles here of what he's got going on this truck, and then I'll talk about a charity that he's racing for. This is a special race for him tonight. I believe that's a sponsor of his on the tailgate. Are we able to get a side shot? Probably not at the moment. Well, Brian Boyd, he is number 19 tonight, and he's racing for a buddy of his. Brian is an Army veteran, and a buddy of his who was essentially like a brother to him, Sergeant Fred Acera. And he was born in July of 1979. He'd be 45 years old today. Fred was a soldier with Brian. They served 3 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan together. They were both stationed in Knoxville, Tennessee. Uh, Fred was a soldier. He was faced with some significant challenges with PTSD after returning home from deployment, and he ultimately took his life back in August of 2020, and that was very, very tough thing for Brian and family to have to deal with. The 22 on the back of his truck, which I wanted to talk about for a second, is the charity organization that Brian is racing for. It's Mission 22. And Mission 22, they're a long established nonprofit organization. They're dedicated to supporting veterans and their families, offering comprehensive assistance and resources, including extensive rehabilitation services for returning soldiers. And their website is mission22.com if you'd like to read up a little bit on them. It's very important to Brian, important to all of us to really support organizations like that and for our veterans. So I just wanted to mention that really quick, and it's important. I know it's important to him, and didn't want to have any confusion. He has the 22 on the back, so if you're wondering why that is, he is not number 22 tonight. He is number 19, but he's racing for his charity Mission 22. All right, we are back, and Brian and Christopher Jordan still in the lead. They are still going strong. We have Mike Rideout. He's back right in contention here. He's following those guys around. These guys are all, it looks like they're all forming up here on the inside, which they could be getting ready for pit stops. There's a 61 Chris Schuessler. Only driver on the outside. Let's see what his strategy is here. Oh, and he just tucks right in. So looks like these guys are thinking about fuel. They're all moving on the inside here. We might see a pit stop here coming up soon. We'll have to see how this works out. But yeah, Brian Boyd at the moment doing a fantastic job of leading everyone through. There's Corey Kroll. We mentioned him earlier in the race. He's made his way up to ninth. So maybe he's thinking of just a little bit, a little more strategic, maybe making his way up a couple positions, having a strategy maybe come together. Yes, and we're seeing the first pit stop. Couple cars coming in. Looks like the 51 looked like that was Jeffrey Vickery getting just a little bit loose. First round of stops coming in. It looked like everyone was nice and clean. I didn't see any spin outs. It's definitely hard to tell on the camera here, but hopefully no one got any black flags. These are the drivers that stayed out. We'll see how that happens to work out for them. There's Corey right there. That looks like the 88, I believe. Brandon Puffenbarger is coming in. Second round stops coming in here. This looks like pit exits. So these guys are coming out. We'll see how everyone resorts here in just a minute. Looks like Mike Rideout is the first one out of those pits, I believe. Number 76. These green flag pit stops can be tricky sometimes at a track like this too, because if you lose your partner or lose someone kind of coming out, you know, the draft is so important at a race like this. So if you have no one to partner up with, you can definitely lose positions and fall way behind. So it looks like Mike Wright out there came out comfortably in the lead at the moment, and he's working with, I'm sorry, I can't see who that is at the moment. But he's got someone with him, which is important. So they're on the inside, and they will work together. And I'm guessing they may pull away because it looks like there's a lot of distance behind them. I think that might be Robert Kahn behind them. I believe that that is. And there's Chris Schuessler trying to catch up to Robert Kahn. And they'll probably try and make their way forward. Try and catch up to that pack. I believe that's Christopher Jordan, Chantal Pottle, and Jason Henry, I believe. And those three will work together as well. And see what they can make up here. Jason Henry getting out of line just a bit. He's back on. And I believe we'll have to wait for our leaderboard to catch up just a bit here to see exactly where everybody is. Brandon Puffenbarger right now, that looks like that's updated because he's in the lead, and we do have Corey Kroll right behind him in second place. So Corey has definitely made some positions up, and he's in a comfortable second place. So strategically, that pit stop worked out well for him. He was able to get some gas and come back out, and he's in second place. Mike Rideout on the outside. And Mike Rideout's been real strong all race. He's been real strong all season, which has been exciting to watch him. He's taking the lead at the moment. Looks like we have a car blinking. I'm not sure who that might be. Sometimes that's difficult for the drivers around, but it doesn't look to be too much of a problem. Usually blinking is just a result of internet connection, and a lot of times that will just resolve itself. But these drivers doing a good job. We're a third of the way through this race, and everyone is looking comfortable. And that looks like Chris Schuessler in the lead of this pack. These drivers are probably desperately trying to catch up to the pack in front so they can have some hope of getting on a podium in this race. Still a long way to go. Looks like Chris Schuessler, Robert Kahn, Chantel Pottle, Jason Henry, and Christopher Jordan in this back pack at the moment. We've got 2 cars a lap down, and that must just be a result of a pit stop that just didn't go well. I'm assuming here we have Brian Boyd and Jeffrey Vickery. And like I mentioned earlier, that's what's tough at a race like this. Sometimes these green flag pit stops, if you just don't time it the best or don't time it right, you come out by yourself and you just desperately lose pace and fall behind. And Mike Wright out in the lead, getting little pushes here from Sean Long. These guys all lining up on the inside. No, I'm assuming with that pit stop that no one took tires. Tires aren't very important at a track like Talladega, and especially here with a green flag pit stop, I really doubt anyone came and took tires. So these guys may be feeling a little bit of, they might have some grip issues, but I doubt it. But no one has gone to the outside here in this group, so maybe just their comfort level at the moment is just to stick behind the other and just try and get that draft. But Mike Rideout doing a good job of just holding on here, getting those pushes from Sean Long, which is definitely benefiting him. Yes, these drivers looking good, looking well in control at the moment. We definitely have a break in packs. You can see on the ticker on the side there, the leaderboard. Looks like we have Chantel Pottle, which is roughly 57 seconds behind, unfortunately. So we do have a break. 2 definite packs, unfortunately, in this race. Or fortunately, if you're in the front one. And it looks like they're actually catching up to that pack. There's the second pack I was just talking about. There we have those 5 cars. It looks like at the moment there, Chantel Pottle is leading that pack. And these guys, I would like to think, are going to try and work together and do everything they can to catch up to the other pack. So at the moment, these guys don't have a chance at that podium, being almost a minute behind. So they're going to have a little bit of work cut out for them. Robert Kahn, though, still working with Chantel Pottle. And these guys are lining up, and they're just going to see what they can do. That's Jason Henry behind Robert Kahn, getting in that string of cars there, trying to cut as much draft. And Chris Schuessler just a little behind those guys, followed by Christopher Jordan. And it looks like this pack here is slowly making their way up to lap traffic. I'm not sure who we have up there. Could be one of the drivers that's a lap down, obviously. Again, probably as a result of a slower pit stop. Robert Kahn on that bumper, Chantal Pottle. Whoa! Just as I call that, it looked like Robert may have spun Chantal around. Hey, that brings out our first caution of the night. Let's go to that Speed Zone TV instant replay. And let's see what we got here. This is Robert Kahn. He's on the bumper of Chantal. Maybe just a little bit loose and just turned her around. Spinning around, unfortunately, Jason Henry got involved in that too. That's the 61 of Chris Schuessler just getting by. And that's a bummer. It's a good thing those drivers have their fast repairs because they're going to definitely need that. And I'll tell you what they're also going to need while we're in our Speed Zone TV instant replay. We need our first fake sponsor of the night, brought to you by Oops, I Crapped My Pants. And I'm sure some of those drivers are going to need that. Are you still having control problems? Do you just not feel confident? Oops, I Crapped My Pants outperforms every bladder control product on the market today. Oops, I Crapped My Pants has a super thick fluff comforter, which allows for maximum absorbency without leaking. Oops, I Crapped My Pants are biodegradable, which is good for the environment. Oops, I Crapped My Pants are the only adult diaper endorsed by NASCAR and the FIA. We're back, and the pace car is out. These drivers are pacing around the track, and we have Mike Wright out in the lead at the moment, and that's not a shock because Mike Rideout's been doing a great job in this race. He is on the inside, and we have Chris Schuessler right behind him on the outside. Jason Henry is on the outside, coming up there to the 61 of Chris Schuessler. Now, I would assume, of course, with this caution that these drivers came in again to top off with fuel. We'll see how this all works out here. I believe we're going to do another lap. And there they go. Drivers are coming in for fuel. Chris Schuessler staying out. I believe that's Jason Henry. Could be wrong. Yes, I believe it's Jason Henry staying out as well. Those guys are rolling the dice. We'll see. I don't know what their fuel strategy is. I don't know if we missed a fuel stop before that when we did instant replay. But at the moment, we have drivers in for fuel, perhaps tires as well. Again, tires not as important. But if we have a yellow flag caution, it can't hurt. You can take tires and still come out towards the back and regain your position in front. Not super tough to do at Talladega. But at the moment, we have two drivers that are out. They did not take fuel that we can see at least. We have Chris Schuessler in the lead, followed by Jason Henry on the outside. So we'll see what these guys are what they're thinking. Jason Henry at the moment on the inside, Chris Schuessler on the outside. So these drivers are going to start forming up, and we are at the halfway part of this race right now. 30 laps to go. So we still have a lot of racing. A lot can happen still. Well, while we're waiting, we'll talk about championship at the moment here. We talked about Corey Kroll leading going into this race ahead by 2 points. At the moment, Corey is in ninth place. Anything can change. And it looks like we're about to go green here any minutes. And we're racing. Chris Schuessler in the lead at the moment. Looks like these cars are filing up on the inside. Jason Henry behind Chris Schuessler. And Mike Wright out in third place. I believe we got Christopher Jordan coming up fast on the outside lane. And I believe that's the 90 of Dennis Warren's jumping right in front of. Oh, that's the 51. That's the 51 of Jeffrey Vickery jumping right in front of Chris Schuessler. Things changing quickly here on this restart. We have Christopher Jordan in the lead at the moment. Brian Boyd behind him. Those guys have been working well all race. So that's a good spot for them at the moment. Together and on the inside. They'll probably try and hold that for as long as they can. We have Robert Kahn again. He's on the outside, in the front of that outside lane. And Robert Kahn knows what he's doing. He's definitely a contender here to win this race. Getting a push by Jeffrey Vickery there on the outside. 61 of Chris Schuessler hanging in there. Starting to fall behind. Behind him is Chantel Pottle. Christopher Jordan, Brian Boyd, looking very comfortable there in the front. Robert Kahn hanging in there as well, still getting good push by Jeffrey Vickery. Everyone at the moment, they're holding their own, regaining their comfort level after this restart. And I think what we need to do at this moment, and we haven't done it yet, I think we need to crank it up. If you're watching this race and you want to get into it, turn your TV up, turn your phone up. Let's crank it up for a few laps and enjoy this race. Enjoy these trucks. Let's do this. Crank it up. All right, race fans, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the crank it up moment. Continuing to watch this race here, Brian Boyd holding strong here in the lead. Jeffrey Vickery doing well. Christopher Jordan fell back just a little bit, but he's holding strong. All these trucks, single file at the moment for the most part. Should be good for fuel for a while. And yeah, that caution definitely helps everyone sort of come back together, which is always a good thing. Well, a good thing for sure if you're laps down or definitely in a back pack. So, yes, all these drivers are close again, which will make a good race for us viewing this. Now, I wanted to talk about sponsors here for just a minute, some true sponsors to this race. Let's talk about Speed Zone TV. Speed Zone TV bringing you this broadcast. Speed Zone TV does a nice job of broadcasting this series. Nice crystal clear video, good audio, and yeah, we definitely enjoy these presentations by Speed Zone TV. Another sponsor I wanted to mention was Lightning Wraps. Lightning Wraps. If you are new to iRacing and looking for someone to do some paint or some graphics on your racing vehicle, you can reach out to Lightning Wraps. So you can find them on Facebook. And the artist there, Chantel Pottle, who's in this race, she does a lot of these graphics and wraps and stuff. And she does a nice job. And you'll see that probably half of these vehicles, half of these trucks in this race have been created by her. So you can definitely reach out. Like I said, you can find Lightning Wraps on Facebook or even contact her in the Discord probably to get some ideas. But she enjoys doing it and does a great job, and just does something creative, which is really cool. So if you're looking for some creative, cool graphics, you can reach out to Chantel at Lightning Wraps, and she'll get it done for you. So we are more than 2/3 done with this race. We're starting to come into the closing laps. We still have a ways to go, and at Talladega, 17 laps to go can mean anything, but we're starting to get into the closing stages. And these drivers might start to think about positioning where they want to start putting their truck, and strategy is probably coming into play now. Just a little bit. Like I said, we still have a long way to go. No need to get too aggressive, but with 17 to go, I'm sure it's on their minds. Jeffrey Vickery at number 51, he's in the lead at the moment, doing a good job of holding pace. He's been in the front a lot this race. We have the number 98 of Sean Long behind him, and Brian Boyd, who's in the lead for a long time. He's fallen behind, not by much. He's in third place. And we have Chris Schuessler in fourth. Christopher Jordan, we've seen a lot of as well. He's in fifth. Dennis Warren's having a strong race. We haven't seen a lot of Dennis, but he's been midfield and having a good race. He's in sixth. Robert Kahn has been in the front and in the mid and in the front and in the mid. He's in seventh. Chantel Pottle as well. We've seen a lot of her. Slid back to eighth. Mike Rideout, he's been strong. Back in ninth at the moment. And Corey Kroll, who we've had our eye on, he's in 10th at the moment. He is the leader for this series championship by 2 points, so we will continue to watch him. And as I was going through the top 10, we did see some trucks go in for their pit stops, their green flag pit stops. So we'll see where they happen to come out. We have Brian Boyd, Chris Schuessler, Christopher Jordan, and Jason Henry in right now for fuel. And Brian Boyd and Christopher Jordan have been strong all race. So we'll have to see with them pitting now and coming out, will they be able to maintain their positions towards the front, or will they slip behind? Some other drivers coming in here now for their pit stops. It's like we have Jeffrey Vickery. They didn't happen to catch the other driver. Jeffrey Vickery and Sean Long in the pits now. This will definitely change things up a bit. As I mentioned earlier in this race, you definitely need to have a partner coming out of the pits. Otherwise, you're just going to lose pace and drastically fall behind. So this could definitely shake some things up right now. We have 14 laps to go. These drivers are all together right now. They're in a pack. I'm sure they're going to try and all pit together as a pack and come out together. Hopefully as a pack. If any of them lose pace, they will not have a chance. And it looks like they're all coming in right now. Dennis Warren's making his way in. First, looks like Robert Kahn, Chantel Pottle, Corey Kroll, Mike Rideout. And I believe we have Brandon Puffenbarger. That group of cars in the pits right now. Yes, it was Brandon Puffenbarger. So we're looking at Jeffrey Vickery at the moment. He's coming around. And lucky for him, he has Sean Long right behind him. So those guys are going to stay together. They're going to work together. We'll have to see where these guys... Are they going to stay ahead? Are they going to fall behind the cars that just pitted earlier? They're making their way around. Looks like they're going to come out ahead of that group of cars that had just come in for their pit stop. So good for them. They should be able to make it to the end of the race. They are ahead right now. We have Dennis Warrens, Robert Kahn, Chantel Pottle, Corey Kroll, Brandon Puffenbarger. I believe Mike Rideout was in the back. Now, there is a gap, but those cars are together, and they should be able to carry enough pace to catch up to those other cars in front of them, those other trucks in front of them. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. And we definitely have a gap now. That might update when we go through start-finish, but it looks like we have... Yeah, this might have to update here. I'm looking at a gap. Mike Rideout shows 42 seconds, 43 seconds. This might update. But it looks like Chris Schuessler and Christopher Jordan... Definitely some distance there. Jason Henry as well. Looks like they've fallen far behind, unfortunately. Their chances to catch up might be gone unless we see another caution. And as I was talking about all these drivers catching up with the front pack, it looks like they're all together. So it looks like we have, what, 7 cars roughly battling for the lead? Maybe 8. Tough to tell at the moment, but yes, these are your leaders at the moment. Battling with 11 laps to go. Still a lot can happen with 11 laps, but I'm sure it's on their minds. These guys are going to start making some calculations and start to think about their positioning and want to try and find a comfortable spot to put their truck in. Now, Dennis Warrens is leading right now, and it's not always a good spot to be in the lead at a super speedway track, because a lot of time the truck or the vehicle behind you, the race car behind you, can gain the momentum and swing past you. So I'm sure he's thinking about that. We got 10 laps to go, and like I said, we got a long way to go still. But I'm sure these drivers are starting to think a little bit about some positioning, some strategy. Corey Kroll in 7th position at the moment. And again, he might just be hanging back just a little bit, not trying to battle too much to get up front. Try and preserve just in case we see a little rough driving. But it's been a nice race. We have 9 laps to go. We've only had one caution, and that's good, clean driving. That's respectful driving. A lot of times in a race like this, or a race at Talladega or Daytona, these super speedways, you see numerous accidents just with rough driving or reckless driving. And these drivers have a lot of respect for each other. They know each other. They respect each other. They know their limits and they're abiding by that. And it's been a nice, clean race. We have about 8 laps to go. That's our leader, Dennis Warnes. Jeffrey Vickery on the outside getting a nice little push. I believe that's Chantel Pottle pushing him. No, that's Sean Long, I believe. Anyway, Dennis is holding strong right now in the lead. And we can't forget about Brandon Puffenbarger. He is towards the back of this pack, but that might be a safe place at the moment. You never know as these laps count down, as things get a little rough or reckless, maybe if there's some accidents, you can definitely benefit from being a little bit behind. So that might be his strategy at the moment. There's 7 laps. And I keep mentioning that 7 laps seems like not a lot of racing left, but at Talladega, that's still a lot of racing left. So he might just be keeping some distance. We see Corey Kroll still in the back. Could just be a strategy, could just be a level of comfort where, in case these guys do wreck up, that they can take advantage and gain some positions. Mike Rideout is doing a good job. He's on the inside, just holding steady. We've seen a lot of Mike Rideout having a good race. Robert Kahn as well. He's behind Dennis Warnes. Robert Kahn, and again with the number 5 of Chantal Pottle. Those guys always seem to connect. And they always work well together unless they're wrecking each other. Other than that, those guys are always working well and very strategic. And they're in a good position right now to do some work. Robert Kahn pushing the 90 of Dennis Warnes. Dennis Warnes looking good. He knows Robert Kahn. I know these drivers. Robert Kahn's going to push him right up until the end and see if he can get that slingshot. We'll see. Don't discount anything. Jeffrey Vickery, he's holding on. He's on the outside, and that outside lane is pretty sticky right now. Rubbered in very well. Whoa, we have a truck out of line. Not sure, that maybe was Mike Rideout. Looks like everything is in the green. We're good to go here. And Jeffrey Vickery in the lead at the moment on the inside. And we have Robert Kahn and Chantel Pottle again together on the outside. Corey Kroll, we are now 3 wide. Corey up top. Corey's probably really starting to think about this now. He knows what he needs to do. He's ahead by 2 points. I don't know if he has to win to take this championship or not. I don't know. It depends on where everyone else finishes. But I'll tell you what, he's definitely starting to put this together now and know that he needs to finish in a good position. And he's definitely getting more aggressive. We haven't seen a lot out of Corey. And like I said, I believe that would be probably for strategy. I think he's just probably trying to just have a A strategic, a safe race, stay out of trouble, but we're starting to see a little more aggressive driving now. We got 3 laps to go. We're seeing 3 wide. And it looks like Corey's going back down on the inside. He's probably going to see what he can do here, how he can take advantage. Jeffrey Vickery in the front, having a strong race, all race long. Chantal Pottle on the outside, working with Mike Rideout. Mike Rideout has had a good race as well. And there's Corey again. He's towards the back, but that doesn't mean much. We have 2 laps to go. And things are probably going to get real exciting now here with 2 laps to go. We're going to really see these drivers. Look, we saw one get loose right now. These drivers are going to really start to think about their strategy, where they need to be, where the truck needs to be, who they can get around, who they know, who are they comfortable with, where can they make their move. And they need to get around this lap traffic here. That's Chris Schuessler. And it looks like they'll do that successfully. Chantal Pottle in a comfortable position there, fighting for the lead on the outside. And it looks like she's got Mike Rideout pushing that bumper. Jeffrey Vickery in a comfortable spot. White flag. This is the last lap. No more cautions. This is it. You see Corey Kroll trying to make something happen. He's not in the strongest position at the moment. These drivers have to start making their moves now. And turn 3. Corey Kroll, I can see that he's trying to desperately make something happen. We're in turn 4. Jeffrey Vickery in the lead. Looks like he's going to take it. Oh, we have an accident. Jeffrey Vickery just crosses the line. Looked like Chantal Pottle just behind him. And a leaderboard showing Sean Long for 3rd place. Maybe we have time. Yes, let's do it. We have a Speed Zone TV instant replay. Let's see this finish. Oh, 3 wide. Oh, Robert Kahn. Looked like he just got bounced around a little bit, just bumping into Corey Kroll. Got a little loose. Ugh. And then they smashed into the wall. I don't know where Corey will finish. Is he finishing 8th place? I don't know if that's strong enough. It looks like here is our winner, Jeffrey Vickery, the number 51. He had a strong race. It was exciting to watch. That was a great race. That was a great race by all of these drivers. A lot of respect. We saw 1 caution only. We're going to watch Jeff do his victory donuts right now. That was well-deserved. And really, this race could have been won by any of these drivers tonight. And that makes for like a nice, exciting race. A nice series. Exciting for these guys, for these drivers. Exciting to broadcast, exciting to watch. Looks like our podium finishers tonight. Jeffrey Vickery taking the win. Chantal Pottle in 2nd. And we have Sean Long in 3rd. Corey Kroll finished in 8th place tonight. I don't know at the moment where that takes him or where that puts him for the series championship. We'll find out. Let me read the rest of these drivers real quick. We saw Mike Rideout in 4th place. He had a great race. Dennis Warnes In fifth, Dennis led for a long time. Brandon Puffenbarger in sixth place. Didn't see a lot of Brandon, but you know what? He had a very, very strong race. He was consistently in the midfield and could have done anything. Robert Kahn, seven. Corey Kroll, we were watching a lot of Corey, um, hoping for a stronger finish for Corey. We're not sure where that's going to take him. We'll find out. Brian Boyd in ninth place, having a very strong race. Jason Henry in 10th. Chris Schuessler finishing 11th. Christopher Jordan in 12th. We saw him a lot working with the 19 of Brian Boyd. And 13th place is Joshua Neal. There's Chantel Pottle. She's doing some victory donuts. And now I know why she's doing victory donuts. Here I have the season finishers. The number 5 of Chantel Pottle, she's finishing first in this series. So Chantel, she takes the lead. She wins. I have Corey Kroll in second place. He was probably hoping for just a little bit more out of this race. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. It's racing, unfortunately. And in third place, Mike Rideout. Mike Rideout did a great job in tonight's race. He was very consistent in all 5 of our races. Big shout out to Corey Kroll. Unfortunately, he didn't have the strongest race tonight, but he is definitely a hard, great racer on track. Been with him a few times now, and yeah, definitely a contender. And congrats to Chantel Pottle. All of these guys did a terrific job. It was a great season. And I'm wondering, let me check in real quick with the producer here and see if we have any of these drivers here for a quick interview. Drivers. All right, this is Chris. This is Chris. Who do I have here? Hey, Jeffrey, how are you, bud? It's Chris.
Good. How are you?
Good. How was the race for you, bud?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had Sean pushing me a lot and messed up pit road entrance one time and got a black and went a lap down, but it was all right. We had a great one pit stop we had. I was just watching that there and we pitted. We must have entered and exited perfectly because we had like a 6-second gap. If there was another, it was just the two of us. So if there's another truck with us, oh man, that would have been just a freight train.
Man, your race was awesome. You were super strong throughout the race. I mean, definitely looked like you had a lot of confidence. How do you feel racing Talladega generally? I mean, is it a track that generally works for you? Is it, does it make you, you nervous a little bit? I mean, how do you feel when you race here?
I like super speedways a lot. I love going to them. I was actually almost missed the race. I hopped on here. I thought Sean was playing Call of Duty, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm doing the Super Speedway League." I was like, "Oh no, I totally
Right.
forgot." So I got in the session with like 40 seconds left, so I didn't get to qualify because I like in the first pit stall. But yeah, I like these tracks, and I don't know. You kind of get in a groove and just I don't know, try to lock in your vision. And Sean was great pushing, and then Dennis was behind him at the end, and I told Sean, I was like, if you have an opening, you go for the win. You try to fight me for it. I would have blocked him, but I was like, you got to go for it. But
No,
he had no hole to get
it's
through. So
yeah, it's really cool. I mean, talk about, getting in at the last minute, and then you said you missed qualifying, right? You said you missed qualifying?
yeah, so my brakes were screwed up because we raced Vegas the night before.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that's where my pit road. And then once we pitted again, I was able to readjust all the brakes. So I fixed those for the second pit.
That's one thing I like about some of the super speedway tracks as well. Talladega is one of them where, we've all raced them before, and it's not a track that you necessarily have to get in a lot of practice. I mean, you can, like you said, you can skip qualifying, or if it doesn't matter so much because you can start at the back and you can make your way to the front um, sometimes without too much trouble, and vice versa. Of course, you can qualify on pole and then go to the back. but qualifying isn't as important as some of the other racetracks. So, you have that luxury sometimes of getting on at the last minute and still being able to have a successful race, which you proved in this race.
Yeah, I know some people like to qualify and some people just don't at all. I like having that first pit stall. It's just easier getting in, getting out, and
Yeah,
I just like it a lot. And then tires too. I think I took rights under caution only, and then when we were under green, I took a left, so I had a lot more grip exiting the pit road.
good,
Because Sean was saying,
good.
"Hey, it's loose," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not loose. It's sticking." So
So is Sean someone that you normally try and like kind of just partner up with?
yeah, Sean's he's in our group of guys, so we talk
Okay,
all the time. Yeah, he's a good guy.
good. All right. Well, it was a great race. I unfortunately didn't have a good pit cycle, and yeah, I didn't come out with anyone, so I didn't have anyone to
Yeah, that's
follow
the
and lost
worst,
the
especially
draft.
when you're alone. It's terrible.
Yeah, so it was a bummer, but it was exciting. You get such a different perspective watching the race versus just watching it from your windshield. But it was a great race. It was nice to have just the one caution and see these drivers really just kind of battle it out, and there wasn't any unfortunate wrecks and retirements from that. So, just real quick, anyone you want to say hello to, send a quick shout out to?
Yeah, all the guys at threat level and Sean giving me the push, and Dennis was back there too. We had a little choo-choo train going at the end, so
Okay.
thanks to those guys for keep pushing me. And admins put on the league, you for broadcasting. Let's see, I was just talking to Brian. Brian seems like a nice guy, so just a lot of respect with
Yeah,
the other drivers in here. So it made for a much better race, you know.
I agree. I talked about that in the broadcast is the level of respect with these drivers. And, I've been racing with you for a little while in different leagues. You and I haven't chatted too much, but definitely always enjoy sharing the track with you in some of the different leagues that we've raced. And it's a pleasure to talk with you. And it's exciting to interview you for winning this race for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun running with you too. Shout out to my wife too, Amy. So totally give her a shout out.
Okay. Have a good evening. I'll see you on the track soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Hey, hey, this is Chris. Who do I have here?
This Brian,
Hey, Brian, how are you, buddy?
I'm living a dream, man.
Nice, nice. Probably not exactly the race you were hoping for, at least where you finished, but I'll tell you what, you were strong all race long. You and Chris working together. It looked like your pit stop cycle just didn't work out as probably you had hoped, but you want to talk about the race for a second?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I feel like I shot myself in the foot on the last pit stop. Um, but as far as being strong, man, I give a lot of credit to Chris. Being absolutely one of the most stellar teammates anybody could ever ask for. Uh, but then I want to give a little bit of credit to Fred because I feel like he's been on my shoulder all week. He's definitely been on my mind. So I'm gonna put a little bit there for sure.
Well, good. That's good to hear. Let me give you just a minute here, real quick. I did talk about the 22 on the back of your truck, and 22 stands for Mission 22. It's a charity that you were racing for. So, if you would, just real quick, just talk about Mission 22 and what it means to you.
Mission 22 means everything to me. I've lost probably 6 or 7 friends to suicide in the military. But the 22 actually, it's the logo for Mission 22, and it's what they stand behind. But the 22 part of it is actually uh, our fine nation and the gentlemen that served along with me and serve our country. We lose 22 of them a day daily to suicide. So Mission 22 is all about being there to try to prevent that. eh, Even if it's one rock at a time out of a whole truckload of rocks. Mission 22 is there to try and pick those rocks up one at a time and we get that number down from 22 to none. Uh, the best way possible by offering the rehabilitation facilities. They'll take soldiers that are struggling with life in general, and they'll send them to, like, if the soldier's into hunting. There's a camp down in Texas that Mission 22 works exclusively with, uh, that will fund and send that family and that veteran to that hunting camp for 2 weeks. All costs, everything is paid for that veteran and their family. Uh, there's a couple places in Canada that work with Mission 22 for elk hunting. Uh, I know they do some stuff with NASCAR now too. Mission 22 does, uh, to take wounded warriors and things of that Gold Star families, that's lost their loved ones in the military, and they'll bring those families or those veterans, whatever the situation dictates, because each situation is different, right? And they allow those families and stuff to come and be a part of something that's bigger, and maybe will give them a little bit of light in a dark day for them. Uh, they're just that's their purpose, is to try and better the veteran mentally and physically and their family, to get them in a better place in life, to where they can see there's much more in life than the demons that they may have, and they help them get rid of them.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I did talk a little bit about Mission 22, um, and where they can be reached. The website, it is mission22.com. You were racing for your friend, your brother, Sergeant Fred Acera, and that he was struggling, after returning home. And I appreciate you being on and racing for them. It sounds like a wonderful organization, and just best of luck. And hopefully we can do some more races and highlight Mission 22 for
Yes, sir.
veterans.
Absolutely, sir. And they do have a Facebook, Instagram. Um, the way to tell that it's them is basically that Mission 22 shield that they put. Uh, they have all the donation links if people want to donate. They are a non for profit organization. Um, it's a pretty huge. Uh, they've been very successful in what they do. So to anybody that's watching, if they want to donate, 25 cents is 25 cents. Every nickel adds up. Uh, you never know, you might be that nickel that saves someone's life.
Of course. Hey, I appreciate you putting a spotlight on that, and for all of us to have a little understanding of that, and welcome you to the league. And yeah, we'll see you soon on the next series. Okay.
Yes, sir. I want to congratulate two people real quick, if I may.
Oh, of course. Yes.
I would like to congratulate Jeffrey Vickery on his
Yes.
win
Vickery.
at Talladega,
Yes.
and a super huge congratulations goes out to Miss Pottle for winning the championship overall. I tip my hat to both of them, and I tip my hat to each and every individual in this league. Couldn't ask for more respect from everybody.
Well, we all appreciate that. I'm sure they do. And yeah, it's a good league. So appreciate having you, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Take care, Brian. All right. I believe we don't have any other drivers with us. So just want to close this by saying my name is Chris Schusler, and this was the Virtual Velocity Racing Super Speedway Series. We just watched race 5, the last race, 5 out of 5. We are at the Talladega Super Speedway. And let's mention our sponsors one more time. Brought to you by Speed Zone TV and Lightning Wraps. Lightning Wraps, you can find them on Facebook and Chantel Pottle can do vehicle graphics, and super cool to check them out. And we will be back soon with a new series coming up. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.